Yeah, can you see the screen?
Yeah, I can see it fine, so I will start the recording.
Okay, all right. Thank you everyone. Welcome to the Goblet AGM 2020. Right, I'll get started. A bit of this, you got a prelude from Celia. So some of this may be a repeat, but I'm gonna offer a little bit more detail about what the Goblet PRO or Public Relations and Outreach Committee has been up to. Very quickly, the aim, I think it's quite self-explanatory, and nonetheless, it's to promote the mission of Goblet, publicize the organization's membership benefits, resources, promote all kinds of events that are coming, including website updates, and of course to support Goblet with its marketing and promotional aspects from brochures, exhibits, including the recent ISMB virtual booth that we did, although we didn't contribute much, but that's an example of some of the things that PR needs to support. So the committee members, there are four of us, besides me. So we have Ms. Chong Lu Chin from AP Bionet and also from Perdana University. Rashad from bioinformatics.ca, Verena Ras, H3A Bionet. We have another one from H3A Bionet, Pablo Chauca. So everyone has been doing whatever they can to help out with the PR committee. And of course, they're all busy people too. So we try to connect whenever we can. We were quite active initially, but lately we have not been. I also recently relocated with the family to Turkey. So I'm also a bit somewhat responsible for that inactivity, but hopefully things will go back to normalcy very soon. And also we discussed about better organizing responsibilities of the committee members. For now, I've been mostly managing and delegating tasks. I think it'll be much better if we assign, split some of those tasks and assign each one of these members to be responsible for that, take leadership role, give them some leadership role for each one of those categories, and hopefully we will better run that way. All right, so plans for 2020, not that many, but nonetheless, we had few activities that we wanted to achieve. Of course, newsletters, we wanted to get the newsletters out. We wanted to maintain the social media engagement. Along the way, we also thought upon request by the EXCO that we should have a social media guide in order to manage, because we had a number of people managing different accounts and we wanted to streamline that. So it was good to actually come up with this. Mailing list, of course, to maintain the mailing list. Previously, the mailing was mostly by email, and we recently, but I think about 2 years ago, moved to MailChimp. So we wanted to make sure that we maintain that and manage it effectively. There were some other activities, outreach to drive membership. There was this conversation about database of conferences. This was actually discussed last year at the AGM 2019. So I have some update on that. Also to continue growing our materials for outreach and the recent virtual exhibition booths, given the coronavirus situation, for conferences like ISMB, ECCB, and I think most likely we may have the same situation with INCOB and maybe other conferences coming up. All right, just so I will go through each of those items very quickly. Newsletter, we planned 3. We published one very early on, February 2020. So full of energy, and then energy died a little. So we did actually plan, to be honest, publish the second one in May. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. I'm responsible for that. Hopefully, but majority of the content is actually more or less done. So I'm hoping that we can tie up the loose ends and get it out late September or early October by hook or crook. So hopefully you'll see that get published, and we want to fulfill our goal of delivering 3 for the year, and hopefully we can get 1 more out by the end of the year. So this is just a snapshot of the first one that we released, and hopefully you'll have 2 more to see. Social media, So I will cover each one of them very quickly. So Facebook, actually Facebook was created a long time ago, 12 May 2013, and I believe who previously managed the PR.com created this. However, it was not very active because I think Twitter is where majority of the audiences have been engaging with Goblet. So Twitter was more the active platform. But in 2017, we tried to also grow Facebook because I think the east side of the world is pretty heavy on Facebook. So we thought maybe we want to cater to that audience through Facebook. So we started growing, posting. I was given the responsibility to do that. So I'm happy to report that we have grown to 342 likes, 358 followers. So yeah, so I think, I mean, the numbers are still small, but I think nonetheless that's something to be proud of. But also, I'm actually very happy to report that our engagements have been quite remarkable for some posts. For example, I've been managing a lot of Facebook pages, but I've not seen the reach that we see here. For example, 20,000, 50,000, that's the highest. I mean, for bioinformatics related platforms, that's the highest I've seen. Of course, you can go millions and other things. But yeah, so 50,000, not bad, 12,000, 14,000, although there's some very small ones here. So it seems like, these are mostly posts from our partners. So our partner posts seem to, have a better traction. We need to have, of course, diversity of content, but it was really heartening to know that we could, drive up such a high level of engagement through Facebook. So we want to better understand what kind of, posts, attract more people to come to our Facebook pages. Hopefully we can learn from that experience and we can, get more partners to post. I'll talk more about that later, but we definitely need to get more of our partner activities showcased on our Facebook page. So yeah, so there are some snippets of good high level engagements that I've not seen in a lot of other platforms or other organizations. I also manage Happy Bionet, so this is, I mean, I don't think Happy Bionet has achieved that kind of a number. So this is there's something about the social media audience, for Goblet, or the platform itself maybe. Anyway, moving on, Twitter, of course, Twitter has been one of the more active one. Before I forget, I just wanted to thank Miss Chong, who has been actually helping a lot with the Facebook postings. She has been regularly posting on this, so thank you to Chong, one of our committee members. On Twitter, Pablo has been our recent champion in managing the Goblet page. So thank you, Pablo. So we have quite a good number of followers, 1,000 plus, and it's been very active since the beginning. We started in 2013. Hopefully the numbers will grow. Now that we have the social media guide, we could be a bit more organized. Actually, we wanted to do this a little better. And again, I apologize, we have not gotten around to doing that. But yes, our social media guide is done. So we hopefully can reconvene with the committee so we can, brainstorm to see how we can go this a little better. So I think Twitter is doing fine. It's been very active. Celia and others are also posting, so that's a big help. So thank you all. YouTube, this is something new. So actually we created the account last year. Verena has been a big help on this, our other member, and it's still at the early stages. She actually just, a few minutes ago tried to quickly update some of the content. So thank you, Verena. I think she's here with us. But we have an account, and she has posted one video. We hope to post more. The plan here was that I think there's a lot of opportunity to actually post Goblet related content and link this to Facebook, link this to Twitter, so we could, some sort of have an ecosystem to promote our activities. For example, the AGM itself, there might be certain aspects of the AGM recording that AI is doing diligently that could be posted over there, of course, with permission from the presenters. And that would be something that we could get out for people to look at and follow. And if we could do more of this in the upcoming AGMs or other activities that we do, This might be one way of driving engagement, and this is something unique. I don't think a lot of other organizations provide something like this. So we hope to grow YouTube. We also plan to do some interviews with our partner members, so they can promote their activities through our channel. So right now we have nothing, but hopefully this could be a major driving force, pushing at the same time Facebook and Twitter, and as a whole, create some sort of ecosystem for our social media, and of course driving traffic to our website. Now that we have the new website ready, so we could also direct a lot of traffic there too. Okay, so that's YouTube. So this is the social media guide that I've been talking about. We drafted this using the H3A Bionet actually guide as a backbone, and then we modified from that. We thank Verena for providing the H3A Bionet guide as a starting material, and we also got a lot of nice feedback from the Exco, and we have addressed those concerns. I don't think this has been officially approved by the Exco, but it's there. I need to present it to the Exco so it can be officially approved. But I think we have addressed most of the comments, and we hope to get this out quickly, so that the team can diligently follow through this, and we have much more standardized, streamlined way of managing our social media pages. If you want to have a look, the link is there. I could post it later if anyone is interested in providing further comments or suggestions. All right, so in that social media guide, we also decided, and based on feedback from the Exco, that we should actually have a page so partner members could actually tell us about the activities, and they could, inform us and provide the necessary content so we can promote their activities on our channel. So we created this Google form where they could actually let us know what kind of activities they're having, so we can then, decide how best to promote those activities on our channel. So this is the link. Of course, we will be announcing this also once the social media guide is officially approved. We'll be announcing this, informing this to our members through the newsletter and MailChimp platforms, and so more and more people would know where to go in order to inform us of the activities. Of course, we'll also want to put this on the website once it's more or less fleshed out. All right, so that's our announcement page. Goblet mailing list, we use MailChimp. Previously we used I think direct mailing to reach out to members. Now we use MailChimp. Makes it much easier to manage our campaigns, and this is just a quick, so we have about 122 members, or not members, but people in the mailing list that we can reach out to. 118 of them are subscribers. There has been some activity in increasing the numbers through digging up old mailing lists. So I think this is more or less complete. Hopefully we can grow this number to larger and larger numbers so we can reach out to more and more people. Of course, this comprises of individual members, organizational members, and also observers, individuals or organizations who are interested in just following our activities. So formally we use MailChimp to manage our activities. Now, in terms of outreach to drive membership, there was a discussion on database of conferences. So this actually has been completed. This has been completed, so we can actually, look into this to see how we can reach out. It's a little outdated now. Every year there's something new. So, but it gives us an idea of what are the activities or regular activities that are happening, in the region or in East and West, and who we could reach out to in order to see if there are opportunities to partner with them, to assist them with their educational needs. So this is available, but we definitely need to update it, bring it up to date, and then see how we could capitalize on this in terms of expanding the reach out of Goblet. So I need to bring this to the Exco for discussion. But if anybody has comments, do share that. The other thing is we have also been involved and Goblet has been involved in participating in these big conferences like ISMB, CCB for this year, so we can reach out to more people, and this has been a bit challenging. I participated in one of them, ECCB, and it was quite a unique experience in reaching out to people. So this is an example of how our booth was set. People would come in queue and ask questions. We would have an FAQ page for them to read about. I think for ECCB, we didn't really have anyone who came. So this is a learning experience, how we can do a better job in terms of, getting noticed by the attendees of the conference, ISMB. Perhaps Celia could share the experience there. I couldn't participate in that one. But again, this is a new world for all of us. So everything is going virtual. Setting up a virtual booth is clearly challenging. I think the organizers did their best, but yeah, maybe there are other ways of managing this. INCOB is another conference that we from FEBionet are involved in, and hopefully we can learn from these experiences and provide a better platform for our exhibitors to showcase their content to the audience. Expanding Goblet reach in Asia. This is actually something I presented during AGM 2019. I just put up everything here first. So this was a goal that we wanted. The goal was to expand Goblet. Goblet being a global organization, the thought was that it has been mostly focusing on the West. I think there's a lot of opportunity for us to expand Goblet's reach to the East, and that one of the ways of doing that was to bring the AGM to Asia, and we successfully did that last year. But we wanted to continue that momentum so that more could be done through that. So for some of the ideas were that for Goblet to be seen as a reference organization for bioinformatics education and training. And I think, of course, people still see Goblet as that, but in terms of reach out and its presence, I think we still do not have that recognition from the community yet. And so this still needs, there's need for more work along this line. Reaching out to a national bioinformatics entity, I don't think we have done much of this. We did reach out to one or two few communities out there individually, but I think formally we have not done this. Again, this is something I need to bring it to the exco to see what's the best way of doing this. However, Goblet-led education track in INCOBs, the last INCOB in Jakarta didn't have an education track. So one of the things that we decided was for INCOB, which is the International Conference on Bioinformatics, which is the flagship conference for Asia Pacific Bioinformatics Network, representing a big part of Asia. To have an education track and to have Goblet be one of the lead for that track. So we are happy to report that that is going forward quite well. We already have our keynote speaker, Nicola Mulder, who has agreed to be the keynote. And so I think that's moving. Wykit, who is here, is planning to, of course, get Goblet more involved. She will be, I think, in conversation with Javier to see how best we could do this. I think she was thinking of some workshops, so I will let her update on that when she has the time later. So that's moving. So I'm happy to report that this is happening. Goblet partnership in endorsing training. We have not done this. But I think hopefully with the education track, this is something that we could revisit. Curriculum review and advisory. Rather than accreditation body, I know ISCB is looking into accreditation, but just as a review and advisory, providing feedback. So a lot of organizations in a lot of universities actually need people. So Goblet could play that role. And I think Wykit is planning to talk about that. So we have something along that line. Participating in training grant application by working with local proxy. So I think this one, we don't have anything going on right now, but one thing that we did do is for example, we did apply for a grant for local training in Asia with partnership with NIH. So Amit, who is here, actually had wanted to do a workshop. He will talk more about it in Asia and in Malaysia and Singapore. He wanted a partner, and we got actually Goblet to be an endorser or supporter of that application. So we got a letter from Goblet. We submitted that, and I'm happy to report that funding has been approved. Amit will talk more. So there's an example of how this can be quite beneficial. And now we have an opportunity for a bigger role of Goblet in this training grant that has been awarded. And Amit will be organizing meetings where we could invite Goblet for its feedback and to see how best to execute that training grant. So there is something there. Goblet Travel Fellowship to attend INCOB. Well, nobody's traveling is not really happening. So this is something we can look into later on. So in a nutshell, out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we have not really hit all the targets, but I think the education track that's happening, endorsing training, that's not so much, but curriculum review, I think YKIT is taking a lead on that training grant that has happened. So I think 3 out of 7, not too bad, but more needs to be done, and hopefully we can continue the momentum and get more out of this engagement with Goblet, and connect Goblet, plug in Goblet to the other entities in Asia Pacific. Actually, there's a plan to do some sort of a super conference or a bioinformatics congress by partnering with ICB, APBC, and JSBI, and few other organizations in Asia, and of course ICB, maybe ECCB. So we are having conversations with the leaderships of all those, so that every 1 or 2 years or 3 years, we all can come together and have a big conference rather than have something separate. So that's an idea that's going on, and we would love to have Goblet as part of that conversation. We are at very early stage. We have already spoken to JSBI. We have spoken to few others who are quite keen on that happening. I think it'll be a good way to unify the bioinformatics community, or East and West. So I think this would be perfect, some sort of a catalyst to drive in that direction. I will speak more about that to the Exco, and I think I've come to the end of my presentation, so I encourage, well, all of you are members. Who are members, please continue being members. Those who are observers, do consider signing up as a member, whether it's individual or organization level. And we also, we hope you will consider sponsoring some of our Goblet activities. And if you want to know more, you can reach out to me or reach out to any one of our Goblet Exco members. Thank you very much.